It's October 28th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a voyage of the dead, a disaster sealed in smoke, and a vanished vessel. Let's begin. On October 28, 1902, the British ship, the SS Ventnor, disappeared beneath the cold waters off of the coast of New Zealand. This was no ordinary ship, because her cargo wasn't gold, coal, or goods. She carried the remains of nearly 500 Chinese gold miners, men who had come to New Zealand decades earlier, chasing fortune, who now, in death, were being sent home to rest in their ancestral soil. 2 days before her sinking, the Ventnor struck a hidden reef. The hull was damaged, but the captain pressed on. By the morning of October 28, the ship began to list. Water poured in, the crew scrambled for lifeboats. One capsized, and 13 souls aboard vanished into the sea. Moments later, the ship slipped beneath the waves, taking her ghostly cargo with her. For over a century, the ship's exact resting place remained hidden, a floating coffin lost to the abyss. The local Maori fishermen spoke of strange boxes washing ashore in the days that followed, wooden coffins silently drifting to land. Out of respect, they reburied the remains, giving the dead strangers resting place far from home. I'd like to think that the miners finally found peace, maybe not in China or New Zealand, but a quiet space in between. Even today, the divers who descend to the wreck say it feels different, with a deep, oppressive stillness. On October 28, 1995, beneath the city of Baku, Azerbaijan, hundreds of passengers boarded an evening metro, expecting an ordinary ride home. But minutes after leaving Aldos station, something went wrong. A sudden electrical spark, small, almost invisible, ignited the carrier's wiring. Within seconds, smoke began to pour through the train, lights flickered, then died. The train shuddered to a deep halt in the tunnel, trapped between stations. Passengers found themselves sealed off in a steel coffin, as thick, toxic smoke contaminated the air. Some tried to pry open the doors, others smashed windows, but the tunnel was narrow and the smoke was overwhelming. Screams echoed down the dark shaft as hundreds clawed for air in total darkness. Emergency crews fought to reach them, but by the time, they were already gone. In the end, 289 souls were gone, including 28 children, their lives stolen not by flames, but by suffocation. Officials called it a malfunction, but whispers spread that there was no accident. Some claimed sabotage, others blamed neglect, and to this day, the exact chain of events remains murky, buried beneath layers of official silence. Survivors still recall that night, the heat, the smoke, the crushing panic, and the haunting sound of footsteps fading into the dark, as if those behind never made it out. It's unsettling how quickly order turns to chaos. One spark, one wire, and suddenly a safe space becomes one of the most unforgiving. On October 28, 1943, in the height of World War II, the U.S. Navy allegedly conducted a series of experiments that would push the boundaries of science and sanity. At the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, a destroyer called the USS Eldridge was said to be fitted with strange electronic coils, classified generators, as part of a project to make a ship invisible to enemy radar. But when the switches were thrown, witnesses claimed that the Eldridge shimmered in a greenish haze and vanished completely. Moments later, it reappeared miles away in Norfolk, Virginia. Some say it was gone for minutes, others hours. When the ship returned, the deck was eerily silent. The crewmen were found fused to the hull, their bodies half merged with the ship itself. Others wandered aimlessly, incoherent and delirious. The Navy dismissed all of this nonsense as a wartime rumor or a hoax. Yet decades later, witnesses continued to come forward, insisting what they had seen. Was it an experiment in cloaking technology, or something else completely? No official documents exist, no proof remains, only whispers of a warship that briefly left our world and came back wrong. So, maybe it was all just wartime rumors, or maybe they did find something, but decided that we weren't ready for it. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.